On deck today for review is the Smith & Wesson M&P Pro Series. This one here is the standard length slide, 9mm, with the night sights on it that come from the factory. We're going to go ahead and finish up here, putting some rounds on steel, and then get into the rest of the review. There you go. We'll go ahead and field strip the pistol for you guys like we always do. Go ahead and hit the mag release here. Take your magazine out. Inspect the chamber, make sure it's empty. It is, visually inspect. And we'll go ahead and lock the slide back by pushing up here on the slide stop all the way. Then we're going to rotate this little lever right here. Rotate that down 90 degrees. And there's a little tool right here built into the frame of the pistol. Go ahead and turn that 90 degrees and pull it out. It's a little bit tight. Well, what that's for, let's see if I can get this on camera here, is if you bring it up. If you look right in there, you'll see a little yellow metal tab. You just pull that down. I'm not sure how well that shows up on camera, but there you go. There you see it right there. That little tab right there. You pull that down, and now when you go ahead and release the slide comes right off, so you don't have to pull the trigger. That's something a lot of guys like, because a lot of people just don't feel comfortable pulling the trigger on their semi-automatic pistols to disassemble them. Anyway, so that's how you go ahead and disassemble your pistol. That's your field strip pistol. That's all you need to do. Go ahead and put it back together. It's exactly the opposite. Notice the stainless steel guide rod, another feature of the M&P that a lot of guys like. Go ahead and slide it back in, and we'll go ahead and put that back on the back on the rails. Walk it to the rear. The lever actually rotated there on its own, but if it doesn't, just rotate it back to where it goes. Release the slide, and you're back in business. For those of you guys that have never actually had a chance to handle one of these guns in person, just to give you a size comparison with a few of its competitors, the biggest one probably is going to be your Glock 17. So I'll go ahead and lay that one over the Glock 17. You can see the Glock, the slide's a little bit longer, maybe a ½ inch longer in general. Obviously it has a nice beaver tail sticking out here that the Glock doesn't have, but you can see there, width-wise, they're very identical. This is the medium back strap, but without the medium back strap, they're pretty much identical in width. And you take a look there on the slides and see they're pretty close as well. Up next for comparison is the SIG P229, also in 9mm here. You can see there the M&P slide is actually a little bit longer on this one. And take a look at the width. You can see they're pretty similar throughout, also in the slide in the frame. But one big difference between these two pistols is the low bore axis of the M&P. You can see there how low it rides in my hand. I'm able to get my hand all the way up there in that beaver tail versus the 229 there. You can see the difference. Obviously the 229 is a double action pistol, so it needs that external hammer, which is going to make it ride a little higher. In 9mm it's not really going to be much of a difference, but if you start getting into the 40 caliber or the 357 SIG, you will notice a little difference there with that higher bore axis. So I'm going to go ahead and try to cover some of the pros and cons of this pistol here. First and foremost, whenever I look at a gun, the number one priority I have anyway is reliability, because if the gun doesn't go bang every time, then all the other great attributes it might have are kind of a moot point, in my opinion anyway. So reliability, the gun has been 100% reliable. This gun's got right around 1,000 rounds through it with no issues. It's ate every single one of them, including Wolf, Silver Bear, all kinds of cheap crap like that, and just asked for more. So definitely a pro for the gun here. Another pro is going to be the accuracy. This gun has been a very accurate gun. The light trigger on it, combined with the very natural grip angle, makes the gun easy to shoot well. That said, a lot of the early M&P 9s had some issues with accuracy, especially when you started getting out beyond 15 meters. You notice your groups start opening up versus other semi-automatic guns. And the reason was the lockup of the barrel was a little bit off. Now, I understand that Smith & Wesson has corrected that, and they actually have two different barrels out now. Well, currently, I should say the barrel that they have now is the corrected one. But if you look on the internet, you'll find pictures of the old versus the new style. The new style ones seem to have a better lockup and are producing tighter groups. This one actually has the old style barrel, but it still produces good groups. So it seems kind of hit or miss. Maybe something like the Gen 4 Glocks that have ejection pattern issues, I should say. So this one's been good the whole time. No issues there, but it's definitely something to look out for if you're in the market for one of these guns. Let's talk about the finish here real quick. It's an excellent finish. It's the Smith & Wesson melanite finish on the steel, which hardens the steel. It's a nitrocarburizing process, as a lot of you guys know. And then they put this nice shiny finish over the top of it. Excellent finish. It looks well. It's been holding up well. Take a look here on the pistol. You can see some slight wear from the holster there. Like I said, this gun's got some rounds through it, and that's not much wear at all in my opinion. And so it's holding up really well. So definitely a good finish there. Also, another thing to point out about the gun here is the grip angle. Take a look at the grip angle versus say like a Glock like we showed you earlier in the video. It's much more vertical. In fact, the gun was actually designed to have the 1911 grip angle. So why is that important? Well, you guys know I used to teach a lot of new shooters, and you put a Glock in their hand with a new shooter, they don't mind it. They generally point the gun well. The grip angle of the Glock's not an issue. But if you get a lot of guys that are used to 1911s or other Western pistols, that grip angle is what they're used to. So when they go ahead and pick the gun up, if they were to pick a Glock up, let's say, they go ahead and pick it up and it naturally points high for them like this. This gun is going to be very familiar. So if you naturally point a 1911 on target easily, this gun's going to mirror that. So if you're used to the 1911 pistol or any other guns with that type of grip angle, this gun's going to point naturally for you. So it's an advantage over the Glocks for a lot of guys anyway. But you guys know I love Glocks. Anyway, so a lot of guys do like that. It's got good capacity. It comes with a couple 17 round mags, and they are actually 17 rounds. They hold 17 rounds. You can top it off with a +1 and still get the mag back in the pistol, so it's not like extremely hard to jam up in there like there is for some guns. So it sounds like a great gun, right? Well, this gun's got one issue, at least in my opinion. You guys know, if you watch my how to shoot and grip a handgun, you guys know I like the trigger reset. I shoot with a reset. I know some guys don't, some guys do. I do like it. And the reason I actually bought the Pro Series versus the standard M&P was for the improved trigger. Well, we'll get to that next. Just make sure it's empty again. It is. We're going to show you what I'm talking about here. So, let me see if we're on camera. We are. So if you go ahead and point the gun in a safe direction, pull the trigger, you'll hear it break there. Rack the slide, then you come up for the reset, and you see how you barely heard that if you did it all? Well, I barely felt it if I did it all. Then you go ahead and break it again, and release. Barely noticeable reset. Now I do say the Pro Series trigger is definitely better than the standard M&P trigger in terms of reset. It's a little bit more tactile, a little bit more audible. But in my opinion, if you're looking for a better trigger than your standard M&P trigger, you'd be better off not buying the Pro Series. Because the Pro Series is essentially the same gun with a different trigger. The slide lengths vary, the sight options vary, but the internals of the gun, the slide, all that stuff is the same gun. So if you're looking for an M&P with a better trigger, your money's better spent. Again, this is just my opinion, buying an Apex kit and dropping it in. It has a cleaner break and it has a better reset than the Pro Series. So if you're to rank them like the standard M&P trigger system, then the Pro is a little bit better, and the Apex is better than the Pro in my opinion. Again, just my opinion there, but if you guys are looking to spend your money wisely and you want a better trigger, that's the way I would recommend going. Anyway, that pretty much covers it up, sums it up I should say. It's an excellent gun. In my opinion, it does have that one little flaw though, the reset, but it wouldn't stop me from buying it again. It's a good gun. It also wouldn't stop me from recommending it. I recommend this gun to a lot of people. A lot of good people like this gun. They like the ergos of it, and they like the price point. It's got a good price point. But all in all, good gun. I wish the trigger was better, like I said earlier, but I'll stop rambling now. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Up next will be a chronograph test with a couple duty loads, and if you guys have comments or anything, feel free to post them here. You can also post over at my Facebook page. Thanks again for watching, guys. We're going top to bottom, so it'll be the HSTs up first.